when Isaac Hayes chooses to take up that mantle, then I see him no different than Elon, where you are going to disrespect our men because we do not share the same zesty style political views that you have. So, I mean, but that's just me. I don't try to shape people's views. I put the facts out there, and you know, people accept them or reject them. So, TC, I really want to get back to TC because he said he can't give an example from the judiciary, and he won't be able to. Back in 2004, one of the things that we see in the case that was brought, I can't remember the name of the parties offhand, but the judge, I remember his name, it was Norgal, a district court judge. He told those that brought the complaint that it is not the judiciary's place to render a ruling on reparations. That is something to be handled at the legislative and executive branches. And this was like I said, back in 2004. So, I mean, I know from all of my years of study that this was never a judicial fight insofar as us bringing reparations. The judicial fight will come when they challenge it, like they're doing in Evanston, Illinois. And for those of you that know our works on this side of things, you know we move with that race neutral, colorblind, freedman status language that they will never be able to defeat because the courts already proved that freedman was in fact a race neutral term. And we got 2 bills submitted in the state of Massachusetts with the proper language. And I wanted to invite Brother TC to a discussion about reparations because his views are way off. And like I said, I've heard them all before and they're boring. And I like to see if I can sway people's minds with the facts, because my nickname is Mr. Just the Facts, and see if people
Damn, you facts too. We the facts duo, man. Shout out to you.
No doubt. No doubt. TC, what's up?
TC, you ready for this smoke? Hold on. So I just want to say we call this the intellectual squabble. Disagreement don't mean disrespect. So we can go back and forth, heated. If nobody concede, we'll do a poll or whatever. But
you've never known me to run away from a squabble, and I never will. Bring it on, Naheem.
All right, well, let's have a dialogue. Do you think?
Well, I don't want to have it now. I just wanted to know if he'll have it.
Oh, okay.
Well, we could go point for point. Matter of fact, you can moderate it, Brother Lou.
I'll set up an intellectual squabble, TC versus Naeem. He's a new booty Republican. Shout out to TC. He been voting Democrat his whole life, and now he voted Republican for the first time. So he got all the talking points. Now he's anti-reparations versus yeah. So I think this would be a good back and forth. Y'all can debate
completely demolished.
Y'all can debate DEI. Y'all can debate reparations. We can set it up. TC.
Dude, I am not anti-reparations. Stop that shit, bro.
You said it was begging, bro. So I mean, that's best.
If you say that it's begging, then you're anti-reparations. Because, like I said,
let me hold on. Let me clarify.
All right, go ahead.
Give me a second, because I think y'all taking advantage of my of me trying to be.
He said it's 40 acres and a mule.
It's 40 acres and a mule, damn it.
Yeah, it's 2025. Let me just say before you go, it's 2025. 40 acres in the 4. That's
hey, listen, we're gonna put some side bets on this squabble. I got 250 and then me and Naeem can split it because I don't want you to do no free labor, man. This ain't 1840. We don't do no free labor no more. So I call it intellectual squabble, man. We putting side bets on this shit. Listen, we can bet on who win the election. We'll bet on this squabble, man. No, let me know if y'all want to set it up.
I want to. This is going to surprise you. I've listened to Naeem, and I don't think there's much we disagree on. I think what there is there's a difference of perspective of how we get to the solution. We haven't explored each other's, like, I know he's listened to me. I haven't had a chance to really listen to him as much, but I'm going to be honest. I've been listening to Naeem for the last 5 or 6 minutes, and just kind of his perspective on Isaac Hayes and how he approaches things from
hold
a.
on, wait. All right, don't mention. Come on, all right, because
Well, no. But listen, I'm not talking about Isaac Hayes, Lou. This ain't got nothing to do with Isaac Hayes. I said I'm listening to how he's talking, and I don't think I disagree with pretty much anything he said. I agree with what his worldview is and how he approached conflict. My question is, what does he disagree with what I said?
Well, there was several things. Number one, and the brother just said it: 40 acres in the mule is 2025. Let's do 40 acres in the Ford F-150, right? Let's upgrade our thinking. The fact that you said that the judiciary is the approach that
Well, let
we
me tell
could
you why I
take.
said that, Naeem. Let me tell you why I said that. I'll tell you why I said that. Because there is a pathway that allows for private citizens to bring claims against the federal government in the courts. Okay? So we agree that this is a legal claim that we have for free labor. And so what you would do is you would file a case in federal court for compensatory damages. Those compensatory damages can result in damages paid out from the federal government for back wages, back pay. It can be paid out compensatory damages for pain and suffering, for mental uh, health. Those
Defamation and
compensatory
slander.
damages. Excuse me. I'm sorry, ma'am. What did you say?
Defamation and slander.
Well, I don't know about that, but
Yeah, well,
I
think
don't know if
about
that
it.
would fall in compensatory, right? So I'm just making a claim about compensatory damages. This is payment for lost time, lost money, and pain and suffering. So what I'm arguing, I don't know if I'm really arguing this, Naeem. What I'm saying is the clearest pathway that makes sense to me is the legal standing that Black Americans have against the federal government to bring our case to the courts to make a valid argument and a valid claim for compensatory damages against the federal government, which has been paid out in other circumstances. I don't know if it's paid out in a reparations circumstance, but in a compensatory damages circumstance, 100% that's been paid out from the federal government to private individuals.
So the problem with that is when you look at other examples, right? It wasn't through the judiciary; it was through the legislative branch. When you look at the Civil Liberties Act of 1989, you see that the first thing that happens is an apology because you have to acknowledge the damage that's done. This is constitutionally embedded in the First Amendment that we as citizens have the right to petition our government for a redress of grievances. And one of the things that was noted by the judge in the case that I speak of was where he said, and I want to read from that article. He said that longstanding doctrine of matters involving political questions, quote, bars the court from deciding the issue of slavery reparations, an issue that has been historically and constitutionally committed to the legislative and executive branches of our government. And by that, when you look at the 13th Amendment, the Reconstruction Acts in general, the Reconstruction Amendments with the Reconstruction Acts, that being the 1866 Civil Rights Act, the 1875 the 1875 Civil Rights Act, and the Reconstruction Acts, et cetera, the Ku Klux Klan Acts, as they were called, of 1871. All of these pieces of legislation were done to protect the freedmen and ensure that their rights, privileges, and immunities were being respected by other citizens in this nation. So this is not something that will go through the judiciary. I hear what you're saying, but it's not the same thing as you getting into a car accident and then you're suing the other driver, or you see what I'm saying, for compensatory damages. This is not that. That's not, when you look up, for instance, the Japanese Americans reparations claim, the Civil Liberties Act of 1989, one of the things you're going to find is that it's codified in positive law. It's there, from the apology to the fact that they gave these people, I think it was $20,000 a piece. So, I mean, like I said, I just, sometimes
Well,
I
let me
wanted
ask you a
to.
question, Naeem. Let me ask you a question on that, because you brought up something that was interesting. So my question to you is this: do you think our claims for compensatory damages or reparations, do you think that is a political question or a legal question?
Well, I don't think the two can be separated in this
Well, what you
sense.
just described from the opinion of that court of that court judge, he said it's a political question, which would discredit the argument that we have a legal claim to a debt, because a debt is not a political dispute; it's a legal dispute. So that's why I asked you that question. Do you think it's a political question or a legal question?
Well, those two things are not mutually exclusive, brother. When you look at, let me give you an example. There was a case in 1865, Jeffries versus Alabama. This is the first time where we find that this term freedman is in fact a legal status. And in the ruling, it notes that this term has legal signification. But how do those people that were emancipated in 1865 obtain this legal status? They get it due to the fact that there was political action that, well, you start with the Emancipation Proclamation right on up to the 13th Amendment. So in this instance, these two things are not mutually exclusive. But I will say that because we have precedent in this land of the legislative body handed, the Freedmen's Bureau was a reparation. The Freedmen's Bank was a reparation. Affirmative action was, in fact, a reparation. And I try to tell people affirmative action is not dead. It's still a reparation for the American freedmen. They just destroyed the diversity rationale that was attached to it. So these legal and political questions are inextricably woven within each other. They cannot be separate in this instance. Separated, excuse me.
Well, I would just kind of respond to you and say that in my estimation, I think the easiest path, or the path of least resistance to Black Americans exacting our claim and financial or fiat responsive or fiat um, uh, payments in regards to the claims that's being made for payments on a debt. You don't have a political solution there, because a debt that's owed is not a political question. As a matter of fact, the Supreme Court opined on this when they were talking about the major questions doctrine. Basically, this doctrine that says that questions of political nature should be governed by the Congress. If we're to adopt the idea that this demand that we make for reparations is a political question, then we have no standing in the courts. And I guess I just don't prescribe to that belief. I believe that we were promised 40 acres and a mule, point blank, period. We were promised 40 acres and a mule. That was denied us. It's documented, it's historical. So therefore, we make our claims in the courts and we say we can trace our lineage back to this promise that was made to us by the federal government as a result of our emancipation. We are demanding full payment in full with interest, what have you, for this guarantee by the federal government. Now, not only do you have a legal valid claim in court, but now you have attached to it a compensatory value to those claims. And it's not this multi-trillion-dollar random ass number that can't nobody fucking figure out. No, it's realistic, it's tangible, it's associated with the actual harm done. And now you can make that claim in court. I'm just of the belief that if we continue to keep this as a political question, it will lack any type of enforceability mechanisms if we don't get what we're demanding from our politicians, which is highly, highly likely that we won't get what we're demanding. It should go through the courts.
So if you look at Article 4 of the United States Constitution, it's the debts and engagement clause, right? So we're still dealing with the political question at the end of the day.
The
That
Constitution is a legal document.
well, I mean, but yet and still, it is the Bible of our politics. Would you disagree with that?
Well, I don't know if I would call it the Bible of our politics. I would say that basically that provides the framework through which we can implement law, which political political policy is going through a political process, but once it's signed into law, it now becomes a legal enforceable document. It's no longer political. So my question to you would be: at what point did you determine that on our claims for reparations, it should be considered to be in the political realm and not in the legal realm?
Well, like I said, you're not going to be able, in our case, and in every case of reparations, separate the two. Again, the First Amendment says that we, as the citizenry, have a right to petition the government for a redress of our grievances. You cannot separate the
that's
two.
specifically referencing right. That's specifically referencing the courts when it's talking about
No,
petitioning the government.
That's not specific. Our government has three branches: the legislative, the executive, and the judiciary. So the judge in that reparations case in 2004 says that the courts are barred from determining the matter of reparations, something that is usually handled by the legislative or the executive branch.
Because they got the power to purse.
Was that a district court that said that?
Yeah,
Wait,
yeah.
quick question. Hey, Naeem, how you feel about the actual title? I see that you posted something in the chat. I posted up top. Make sure y'all follow Naeem. I see your page. It says you're the founder of what is it?
United Sons and Daughters of Freedom. Yeah, we are the ones that introduced the freedman terminology into the modern day lexicon. We are the ones that introduced the term reparationist into the modern day lexicon back in both terms back in 2020, right? That article is an article that I wrote so that people could understand what we view as a pathway towards being the power, which is the name of our platform, Be the Power. And in that article, we speak about our Back South strategy that we've been pretty much building on since 2021 after we interviewed Charles Blow, who wrote the book, The Devil You Know, which speaks about that same subject. And the fact that we have a political renaissance going on right now, and a lot of that is happening right here on social media. So, yeah, I mean, that's, definitely, but to the title of the space.
Yeah, to the title, because we're about to wrap it up. So I'm going to get through all the hands and we'll wrap it up.
Okay, I got you. I'm going to be brief. You capture it when you say pandering, because when Jim Crow Joe Biden was in office, right, the Biden-Harris administration, a lot of people don't know this, but over 400 lawmakers and activists wrote letters to Jim Crow Joe urging him to take action on the issue of reparations. He did nothing. He sat on his hands. When Kamala Harris ran after the convention, and I'll put that video in the purple pill, Van Jones was on CNN and he was giving a recap of the DNC convention. And he was talking about the party moving forward into the future. And he was like, this will no longer be a party of party poopers. And he started speaking about things that were pretty much germane to our plight and what we advocate for here in this country. And one of the things he said was reparations for slavery? No. Right? So we started to see that the Democrat, Justice, what is her name? Janet Yellen, the former Treasury Secretary, went to the slave dungeons, I believe that's in Angola. And, she was pressed by one of the reporters from the Associated Press about, you know, this feeling that you got, this sentiment. Does that make you think about reparations for the quote unquote African Americans? And she said, no, the administration will not pursue reparations. Instead, we'll focus on the same shit they've been saying, putting money or investing money into education, as if investing money into education is going to help a 68-year-old grandmother that has to take care of her daughter's children because the daughter and the father got maybe caught up. And so you see what I'm saying? So this stuff is nonsense at the end of the day. It's a bunch of pandering and it's going to fail miserably. And what they're doing is they're actually putting a bad taste, you know, reparations already leaves a bad taste in the mouth of individuals. But with them doing this right now, while the Republicans are in power, it's going to make those of us in the grassroots put up our middle finger and say, where were you when we needed you to do this when you had the power? And those on the right to continue making the claims that they've been making. So now we have to approach this thing with a different approach. And that's what my team and I are doing right now. Good looking, man.
Can I respond to that by any chance, Lou?
Yeah. No, do you think? Appreciate you. I just followed you. Keep doing your thing, man. If you got some donations, can you donate to that?
Yeah, definitely, man. My website is usadof.org. That's our nonprofit. Check out our 12-point program. We're working the first 2 points of that program. One is going to the OMB to change, to disaggregate it. If delineation is the thing, we've made some progress there. And establishing a Freedmen's Bureau at the federal and state agency. And, you know, check out our plan, check out the information that we have on our website. It's edifying.
I think I'm familiar with this. Yeah, I think I'm familiar with the Freeman one. Yeah, all right, for sure. All right. Y'all make sure y'all follow him. Appreciate your work, bro. Keep standing on business. All right. Who's next? Is it Peter? And then Taff?
Appreciate it. I'll keep it short. I think it is pandering. I agree with the last speaker. And honestly, I think the best way to get reparations would be to link yourself up with the Jews.
Where's your family from?
My family's from Sicily.
Oh yeah. Where you was born and where your grandparents from? Wait, are you
New York City?
Southern Italian or Northern Italian? Because y'all treat the Southern Italians like I ain't gonna say the word, but
yeah, I'm Sicilian, so I'm Southern Italian.
I get money with Sicilians, man. Shout out to
straight up.
I fuck the Sicilians
all day. So anyway, I think the best way would be to align with the Jews, with AIPAC, and I think the best way to do that would be to create a schism, and to side with them in regards to the fight that's going on with the Palestinians. I think that by joining up with the Palestinian cause, you would drive a wedge, continue to drive a wedge between any type of.
Wait, are you Italian? Are you Jewish Italian? Like, are you? What's your religion?
I'm not Jewish at all.
You're Catholic, and you're advocating for Jews.
No, I'm telling you why I think the best way for the move forward would be to align yourselves with the Jews because they control everything. And so if you champion if you champion their causes, then they would probably provide reciprocity and would champion a cause that you hold near and dear.
So you say us to pander? Wait. Jewish Americans and what's going on in Israel, two different things. Now, if you were to say like try to like strategic, because I don't really believe in like hopping on people's trains if they're not hopping on ours. I believe in like mutual beneficial relationship. So it's not gonna be like we finna do some shit for y'all ain't gonna do shit for us.
But everything's quid pro quo, right?
What's going on in Israel and Palestine? That's between them. We talking about in the United States of America, all right, brother?
Yeah, but every Jew in America is pretty much supporting what's going on with the Israelis, and they're calling everything.
Why we don't partner up with the Sicilians? Why you niggas ain't pro reparations?
Bro, we're broke. We don't have shit. We're terrible.
Yeah,
right?
Broke as fuck.
Yeah, we need reparations too, man. We want to hop on the train too. I want to file.
Hey, y'all know what's funny though?
You should fight for your ancestors.
Wait.
Have you been back to Italy? Have you been back?
No, I'm actually I'm getting my dual
You should do that.
citizenship
You
to
should-
go back.
Yeah,
Right.
trace
Hey.
that lineage, find out who you are, who you really are.
I do
Hold on,
actually.
hold on.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give you some history that you probably never knew about. So there was in 1891 there was a lynching of 11 Italian immigrants in New Orleans. Right, my dad's side from New Orleans. My grandma was born in New Orleans. So basically, it was a mob of that lynched 11 Italians. Right, and it was because it was a lynching of police chief David Hennessy. Right, so they thought that these Italians, immigrants that migrated over there, was involved in it. So while they was facing trial, they broke into the police station, took the 11 Italians out, and lynched them. Right. So what happened was they got a lot of pushback from Italy because we had trade deals with them at the time. Right. So Italy said if they don't make that right, we're gonna fuck up some money. Right. Fuck up your bottom line. And you know what happened? They gave them 11 Italians, then their descendants, reparations. $25,000. Now I know after inflation it's probably worth way more now. But your people got reparations in the United States. Y'all look that shit up, man. Do you know that?
I mean, I didn't know that story, but I appreciate the telling me that. I'm going to look it up. When Italians first came over here, there used to be no wops, so that was a derogatory term
They treat
used.
y'all niggas they treat y'all like Mexicans.
Correct.
Well, they
without
weren't
pay.
white.
But
Yeah,
y'all,
they picked that
but
up.
y'all,
That's
but
part
y'all
of that
assimilated,
prison,
changed
yeah.
y'all names, and assimilated to whiteness. So y'all
Well, I
literally,
mean, some of them
y'all
did.
assimilated.
My grandfather chose to go into the mafia in La Cosa Nostra, so he didn't really assimilate, and there was a lot of pushback against what are known as the mitigans. The mitigans were the Italians who looked down their nose at the Sicilians that did come over. So, yeah, I mean, I do know the history of it, but again, I think the best way to move, because honestly, just being straight up, I don't see this happening anytime soon.
Hey, wait, didn't the Italians allow Meyer Lansky into the Italian mafia where he was Jewish and y'all end up fucking up at the end? So you want us to partner up with people and shit?
No, he wasn't. He was never
Meyer
made.
Lansky was Jewish,
You
and
can't be made.
he
You
was
can't
our
be
big
made.
homie.
You
He
can't. No,
financed y'all.
he wasn't our big homie, bro. The big homie was Lucky Luciano, man. He was the one who started all the families.
Hey, Lou,
Who
facts, 30
financed the
seconds real
Italian
quick.
mob? Just
Say
look
it
it up,
again?
bro. Listen, wait. So when y'all did that deal, right? The Italian mafia did the deal because you know y'all worked with the government. Y'all be talking all that gangster talk, but y'all did a deal with the government. You know what I'm talking about? Before I said it? The deal
You're
that y'all
talking.
got with the government.
You're talking about Cuba.
Yes, and the ports in New York,
Yep. From
right?
the Nazis.
Exactly.
Mhm.
So y'all partner up with the United States government, and you know who orchestrated that? It was an Italian mob boss. I forgot his name, and then it was Meyer Lansky. He was
Well,
Jewish.
it might have been Anastasia, or it would be Lucky Luciano, because Lucky Luciano was the boss of the bosses. So he would
Hey,
be the
Lou.
one who would strike that
Hey,
deal.
before we get off Italians too, in California, it was some Italian immigrants that started a bank in Italy that later got backed by the American government. If anybody robs that bank, their money is backed by FDIC, and now it's called Bank of America. Straight
I
up.
mean,
That's
at
how
the
the
end of the
Italians
day,
became white.
you should take a page out of this, right? Everybody's going to do what's good for them.
Wait, y'all
No matter.
listen. Y'all need to take a page too, though, because you saying that y'all fucked up too. So, hey, I agree with you. But listen, I have strategic allies with any group, but I'm not doing this one-sided ally shit where we help people out, and then when it come to our plight and reparations, these motherfuckers be silent. So,
Well, the
hey, man,
Italians do work with the
I'm
Jews a
open
lot
to
too, though.
strategic partners. I ain't with the 48 laws of powers, man. You don't segregate yourself. So I'm all for strategic allies with other groups, man. I don't
And
give a fuck who
and
you.
the TV Jews that these people talk about, Lou, I always ask them because the very people that they're talking about, I live next door to them. I live in Beverly Hills. I always ask them, like, yeah, have you guys ever met these people and talked to them? They say no. I say, oh, it's a TV Jew then. When I say TV Jew, I mean they just know about them from the television and what they say on the internet. You know, the YouTube Illuminati talk. Because I don't be
It's all good.
I don't I don't be understanding what they're talking about. Like Lou, you know, I mean, you've been to our cellar in Beverly Hills. A lot of them are members of our cellar. And so the conversation I'm having with them, it just sounds like TV Jew talk to me. Like
All
a
Jews
show
ain't
that
got
come
no
on at
power.
5:30
Wait,
p.m.
what is TV
Yeah,
Jews?
like a show that comes on.
It's a 1% of Jewish
You
people
didn't
that
catch
got
it.
power. It's like, I mean, it's just like it's 1% of white. It's like all of them ain't got no power. So y'all be
Exactly.
giving them too much credit and shit. It's some that got money, and
Exactly.
some that don't. Some of them broke as fuck. I know a couple broke
Like
ass
Lou,
niggas.
ironically, Lou, the guy that's a partner with my wife and I, that we were able to buy, you know the story, Lou, the majority of the seller, he classifies as a Jew. I say classified because I have opposition to even them calling themselves that. But he classifies as a Jew. He didn't have no moolah. He needed to come to my wife and I. Now we own majority of the spot. So like I said, these TV Jews that you all talk about, he said what's a TV Jew, so I guess he didn't catch the metaphor. I'm saying when I hear people on the internet say Jews and they've never met these Beverly Hills people that they're talking about, the people that run Wall Street, the people that run the music industry, that's what you guys believe, who Kanye's talking about, they live in Beverly Hills. I'm saying when I'm around them, they're not the people that you all describe. So when I hear it, it's like TV Jews.
Where do you think the funding comes for all these
Wait,
programs?
hold on,
for all
bro.
the-
Hold on, bro. This ain't about this ain't about Jewish community, bro. Take that shit somewhere else. We talking about Black Americans, Black History Month. We ain't finna send nobody else. Fuck all that. All right.
No, I understand.
Listen.
You got that. You're right.
Listen, if you
You're
want them to
right.
partner up with us, hey, find some and tell them to come holler at me. We'll figure something out. We ain't doing all that. We ain't finna send their ass. All right. Who next? It's Tab. Tab, do you think? Hood Witch, what up?
Yeah. So, bro, Lou, bro, I appreciate this space, bro. Bring a lot of brothers in this space, a lot of sisters into this space, having this conversation because reparations is very important, and we're not gonna make this be a lost history. You see what I'm saying? It was broken promises that need to be fucking remade. Like that apology needs to be made right now. And I heard a lot of people talk about the Democrats are putting on a show. It's nothing but arts and craft or whatever. All I'm saying is as long as we get paid our reparations from those broken promises back in 1865, I'm all good with these theatrics that they're putting on. As long as we get paid. And to be honest, I really feel like Ice Cube needs an apology from the Democrats and the Republicans because his contract with Black America was legit. But I want to say one thing when it comes to Ice Cube and his contract with Black America. I feel like now it's 2025 and people need to like open up their minds. A lot of people say, bro, we're not going to get it. Bro, that's slave mentality to me. We're free. We're going to get that reparation. You see what I'm saying? All people need to do right now is transform that contract that Ice Cube created into a Bitcoin contract, right? Because we all know about Bitcoin and we all know that Bitcoin is anti-inflation. That means it's deflationary. That means that the money they get paid today will be worth way more money. The dollar has lost its value. So we can go ahead and say, yo, bro,